Welcome back to Let's Tab 59. What a cracking day. I was actually up with a sunrise this morning, oh silly 100 hours, sparrow's fart. And I thought, right, it's not a bad day, let's get out and make the most of the weather and have a chat to you about a Corporals War. So between 1969 and 2007, and that's almost 38 years, bar a few days, almost 38 years, British Armed Forces were embroiled in a campaign, a long campaign in Northern Ireland, which was referred to as Operation Banner. And I've spoken before about Operation Banner. Now, Operation Banner claimed 1,441 lives from British forces. 1,441. It's a lot of casualties. The only other campaign after the Second World War that claimed more lives was the Malayan emergency, and I've spoke about that in previous videos. In the Malaya emergency, that claimed 1,442 lives. So just one more life lost than Northern Ireland, than Operation Banner. Now, they're government statistics. Obviously, not all of those that were killed on Operation Banner were through enemy action, or terrorist action, combat, whatever you want to call it. Many of those were natural causes, illnesses, accidents, and even suicide. There's a lot of people to lose their lives. Now, unlike Malaya, Operation Banner in Northern Ireland, you weren't safe. For instance, you come home on leave after you was in on operation leading up to Northern Ireland. You're on leave, you've done your tour, and you're back doing your normal routine out in Germany on exercise or whatever. You weren't safe. There was always the terrorist threat. Many of you veterans will remember seeing posters dotted around the camp telling you to stay alert, check your car. Many of you remember going out, checking underneath your car before you go to work in the morning, even if you're stationed out in Germany, say, or even Cyprus possibly, but certainly in mainland UK. So you had to remain ever vigilant. Now, because you were targeted, even West Germany, married quarters were targeted, camps were targeted, individuals were targeted. Now, they even, the terrorists, Republican terrorists, even killed a W01, Regimental Sergeant Major from the Royal Regiment of Wales in Belgium. So what happened there? Well, this W01 was coming home on leave from West Germany in his car, got to the Belgian ferry port, was parked up there, gunman approached the car and shot him dead. How did they know he's a British soldier? Well, back in those days, this happened in the 80s, if you were serving out in West Germany and you had a car or a motorcycle, you didn't have the normal UK number plates on your car. You had what we called a BFG plate. Now, UK number plates on the back of your car, it's a yellow number plate with black lettering. On the front number plate is white with black lettering. But a BFG plate, a British Forces Germany plate, for soldiers out in West Germany, was a black, front and back, black plates with pressed lettering and numbers, which were painted white. So very, very distinctive number plates. Didn't matter whether your car was right-hand drive or left-hand drive, you had BFG plates on it. And of course, you stood out like a sore thumb, and therefore, if you were driving around in UK on leave, or out in Germany, or anywhere in Europe, coming home, etc., you stood out, and that's how they got him. So you had to remain ever vigilant. Now, why was Northern Ireland, Operation Banner, often referred to as a Corporals War? Well, if you look at it, yes, patrols were led in South Armine, bandit country in rural areas, often led by a multiple commander, maybe a sergeant, a colour sergeant, or even a young officer. And that happens sometimes in urban environments as well, depending on the operation. But the routine, nitty-gritty, boring foot patrols and mobile patrols, especially in urban areas, 8 men, 2 4-man bricks, brick commander, possibly a full screw, and his second in command, a lance corporal, each commanding a 4-man brick. And that's how you moved around on your foot patrols, your mobile patrols. So there's a lot of responsibility put onto our junior NCOs in Northern Ireland, and it gave us a very good quality of junior NCO, let me tell you, because leading up to say the fall of the Berlin Wall, British soldier, there wasn't a lot going on campaign wise apart from Operation Banner. Yes, in 1982 we had the Falklands War, a short, sharp conflict, but apart from that it was just Northern Ireland. So the rest of the time you may be out in Salisbury Plain or out in West Germany mostly, serving out there, just doing your German routine, your exercises, patrolling, you know, your normal NATO style stuff, training for that, training for the invasion, as we thought. So when Northern Ireland come along, if you're a young soldier and you hadn't been to Northern Ireland before, your first tour, you'd be quite excited to go because it was a break from the norm, a break from the routine of West Germany or Salisbury Plain or wherever you were. So it's quite exciting as a young soldier. Obviously when you started to do your second, third, fourth tour, it started to become a bit of a drag, and you probably weren't as excited to go out there. So there, in Operation Banner in Northern Ireland, junior NCOs really stepped up to the plate. High quality, good junior leadership. And that's what made us so good out there. I don't care what anyone says. We were one of the best armies containing a very tough, difficult guerrilla war. Not many armies could do that, but the British Army did. So it was a Corporals War in my eyes, and a lot of people will say that as well. It's a Corporals War. Now, to give you one example of that, I'm going to have to refer to my notebook because I can't get all the details absolutely correct, and it's important in this video that I do. I don't normally read from a script. Excuse me, it's not a script as such. It's just a few details I've got to get right. So, the 2nd Battalion, the Royal Green Jackets. They were in Belfast on a 6-month tour, and they were only a few days away from the tour ending. Now what used to happen was, when the battalion was getting near the end of its tour, a few weeks before the end of the tour, the next battalion that was taking over from them would send out an advance party. The advance party would be mainly the commanders, platoon sergeants, section commanders, etc., and a few others. And they would start to feed in a few of these commanders or people with the battalion that's already in place, so they could get to know the ground early on, because you're only there for 6 months. And obviously the battalion that was finishing knew the ground, knew who was who. So it's an important part of the handover takeover, if you like, between battalions. And that's what's happening with the Royal Green Jackets, the 2nd Battalion. They were coming to the end of their tour. They were being relieved by the Coldstream Guards. So this particular patrol I'm going to tell you about had a mixture. It was 2 Land Rover patrols, 9 men. Now normally it's 4 in each Land Rover, but on this particular case the patrol had to move an RAF sergeant from Springfield Road Police Station to C Company's location. So they had 1 extra body in the Land Rover. The section commander was a guy called Corporal Linfield. He was in the lead Land Rover. His second in command was a Lance Corporal Harwood. He was commanding the 2nd Land Rover. In Corporal Linfield's Land Rover was the RAF sergeant that they were moving, a Rifleman Holland, a Rifleman Mullen, and a Lance Corporal from the Coldstream Guards. Obviously going to be a section commander himself and wanted to get a lie of the land. The second Land Rover, I say, was commanded by Lance Corporal Harwood. He had Rifleman Rapley and Rifleman Malakos and another guardsman from the Coldstream Guards. So that's the make-up of the patrol. Now they came out the back of Springfield Road Police Station. There's a rear entrance to the police station. They turned right, and then they turned right again onto Crocus Street. Now as the two Land Rovers went down Crocus Street, the lead Land Rover, being driven by the section commander, Corporal Linfield, come under heavy, sustained, automatic machine gun fire at close range. Very close range. I believe, I may be wrong, that the terrorists were using an M60 machine gun, belt-fed machine gun. Close range, with one of them, it's going to do some damage. The Land Rovers, in those days, weren't armoured. They were covered in a material called Macrolon. Macrolon is not bulletproof. Yes, it may stop low caliber 9mm ammunition, something like that, but it ain't going to stop a 7.62, that's for sure. So his Land Rover gets smashed in the initial burst in the ambush. Corporal Linfield accelerates out. He knows he's in the killing ground. He's a switched on cookie. He puts his foot down, he's driving. People are getting hit in the Land Rover, by the way. I'll come to the casualties in a moment. But Corporal Linfield puts his foot down, drives up Crocus Street, across Springfield Road and into a side street and stops the Land Rover. He's out the killing ground now. He's done exactly the right anti-ambush drill. He's out the killing ground and he's reasonably safe. The second Land Rover clocked what had happened and they stopped short rather than driving into the killing ground. So he sees him come under fire and thinks, I'm not driving, I'm not following him, I'll stop where I am. However, they come under sustained fire as well. Corporal Harwood manages to get out of the Land Rover, sort of falls out onto the road basically, as his Land Rover comes under the heavy fire as well, and he starts to take casualties. Now while all this is going on, the QRF, the Quick Reaction Force, inside Springfield Road Police Station, realise what's going on. They can hear the fire very close to where they are. Crocus Street just runs down the side. So they come piling out of the police station and make their way to the ambush point. Casualties at this stage. Let me take you through. This is why I've got to use my notebook. So in the lead vehicle, the one that's driven through the ambush with Corporal Linfield, the lead Land Rover, the RAF sergeant's been hit in the head, but he's alive. Rifleman Holland, he's been hit in the head. Rifleman Mullen is unscathed, and the Lance Corporal from the Coldstream Guards has been hit in the head too, and he's alive. So at this stage, it's got 3 wounded men, but they're alive. In the second Land Rover, Lance Corporal Harwood is okay. Rifleman Rapley has been shot in the back and head and died instantly. Rifleman Malakos has been shot in the stomach, the neck and the jaw. So he's out of it. The guardsman, he's okay, but he's in shock. Now, Corporal Linfield, as I say, he's driven out the ambush. He's on the other side of Springfield Road. He's debussed himself and he makes his way towards the firing point, under fire, on his own. He's going for it. He's not messing about. He's going straight for the firing point where these guys have ambushed him from. Remember, they've got automatic weapons. He's got his SLR. And he's making his way there. He's going to have it. He's having some. The only reason he got stopped from going right into the firing point was the QRF arrived and they physically stopped him from carrying on. He would have gone all the way. Gunmen, they'd done one. They'd done a runner. Now, unfortunately, the RAF sergeant survived his wounds. Rifleman Holland, who was in the lead vehicle with Corporal Linfield, he died in hospital. The Coldstream Guards Lance Corporal survived, they'd been hit in the head. In the second Land Rover, Rifleman Rapley had already died instantly. He was shot in the back of the head, unfortunately. He died instantly. Rifleman Malakos, who was shot in the gut, the neck and the jaw, he died on his way to hospital. And the Guardsman survived. So out of that 9-man patrol, 3 died and 2 were wounded. Incredible ambush. For his actions, Corporal Linfield received the military medal. The military medal doesn't exist anymore in the British forces. It was an award for gallantry, for bravery in the field, and it was actually replaced by the military cross. Up until then, the military cross, quite a well-known British gallantry award, was only issued to commissioned officers. So if you were below the rank of second lieutenant, you would have got the military medal. It's the same award, just a different medal, an MM rather than an MC. Corporal Linfield got the military medal and was well deserved to get it as well. So I just want to bring that one incident out where the quick thinking and experience of a junior commander, Corporal Linfield, his actions were fantastic. He drove out the ambush under heavy fire, didn't panic, got his vehicle clear of the killing ground, debussed and took the fight to the enemy. Was only stopped by the QRF. So that's why I believe it's a Corporal War. In fact, in 1975, a full colonel was serving in Northern Ireland, and he's reported to have said that a junior commander, a corporal, in Northern Ireland, during Operation Banner, a corporal had more responsibility there than a battalion commander had in World War I. And I believe that to be true too. There's many, many proven instances of junior commanders, corporals and lance corporals, outstanding action in what was a really, really difficult campaign. So I believe Operation Banner was a Corporals War to a large extent. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that one. Lots more to come. If you're new to my channel and you haven't subscribed, please consider it. Please consider subscribing. It will really help the channel. We're approaching Christmas now. It's the 6th of December today. Beautiful day, as you can see. Lots more videos to come. So remember, stay tuned, stay safe. Let's tap.